Two men broke into your house last night to end you. You did what you had to do. Now you're sitting at a table across from the man who sent them, and he's asking if you want more coffee. But that's the middle of the story. Let's go back to the beginning. You get the assignment on a Tuesday. Your supervisor slides a folder across the desk and says just 3 words, "We need you." Inside the folder is a name and a photograph. The man in the photo looks like someone's grandfather. Your supervisor tells you this man, Victor, is the leader of a local extremist group. Your job is to become his friend. What your supervisor doesn't tell you, what he can't tell you, is that this case will force you into a decision about an innocent woman, a decision with no good answer. One that will haunt you for years. But that comes later. First, you have to become someone else. You move to Victor's town 6 weeks before trying to meet him. You rent a small place. Get a job at a hardware store on Main Street. You wave at neighbors, learn which diner has the best biscuits, and go there every morning at 6:12 until the waitress pours your coffee before you even sit. You become a regular, a man with a pickup truck and quiet resentment toward the system. That's your cover. You don't rant, you let it slip out slowly, comments about taxes, a subtle shake of the head at the news. Fake job history, fake ex-wife in Florida. A backstory so tight it shouldn't crack. But, shouldn't, isn't the same as, won't. On day 9, a gray truck parks across from your house for 40 minutes. The driver just sits there, engine running, staring at your front door. Maybe nothing, maybe not. You write down the plate number anyway. First contact happens at a cookout weeks later. Someone introduces you to Victor. He shakes your hand, asks where you're from, then talks about his tomato garden for 10 straight minutes. You nod, you improvise, you connect, then you drop a few carefully placed comments, just enough for him to recognize you as someone on his side. He smiles. That's all for now. A week later, you're invited to a meeting. Back room, machine shop, folding chairs, fluorescent lights buzzing, smell of oil and cigarettes. You notice 2 men immediately. They don't talk, don't eat, just watch. One sits angled toward the door, not by accident. The room feels disturbingly normal. These are everyday people, neighbors, workers, the kind of men you'd trust to fix your roof. Conversation starts harmless, economy, local news, nostalgia. Then it shifts. The tone darkens. The language turns ugly, casual, like they're talking about the weather. You leave knowing something's wrong. Those 2 watchers never stopped studying you. You report every 72 hours using payphones. Never the same route, never the same pattern. You become paranoid about being paranoid. Too careful, they notice. Not careful enough. You miss something, or get caught. And getting caught here isn't an arrest. It's worse. Weeks pass. You gain trust. Victor invites you to dinner. His wife cooks. His granddaughter shows you drawings. He looks at you and says, "You're good people." For a moment, you forget. Forget who he is. Forget why you're there. You just feel like a friend. That's when you realize, the job isn't pretending. It's becoming. Then everything tightens. You're called into a closed meeting. Door locked. A new man in the room, huge, silent. Take your shirt off. They search you. You're wired. Every second feels like the last. But somehow, they miss it. Barely. Then Victor lays it out. A woman, a civil rights lawyer, Emily Carter. She needs to disappear. You nod. Inside, everything freezes. Later, you realize you're being watched again. Followed. Tested. That night, 2 men break into your house. They find the one thing you forgot to remove, a photo of you in federal gear. They know. What follows is fast, violent, final. By morning, there's no trace they were ever there. You're told to stay in. One more meeting. You walk in like nothing happened. Victor asks if you had anything to do with his missing men. You say no. No hesitation, no blink. He believes you, or decides to. Then comes the choice. You're driving. The plan to kill Emily is moving forward, and you're now part of it. Say no. You're dead. Say yes. You're complicit. You nod. I'm driving. The night arrives. You're behind the wheel. Victor beside you. Another man in the back. Intercept points are set. Backup is waiting. But nothing happens. First point. Nothing. Second. Nothing. Your chest tightens. You keep driving. Closer. Closer. Then, lights explode everywhere. Sirens. Helicopters. Voices shouting. It's over. Months later, Victor gets decades in prison. The others too. Emily never knows how close she came. You go home. Sit in silence. And wait to feel like you won. You don't. Because for those few miles, you didn't stop the car. And you'll never be completely sure why.